Welcome everyone. It is our last session of virtual orientation for families and supporters. And we are going to get to our speakers momentarily. We know that Deanna, who's on her phone, is not able to stay very long. So what I'm going to do is switch it up a little. I'm going to go over the expectations for 16th, which is how we kick off the meeting to the end. I'll save that for the end. And we'll give Deanna a chance to introduce herself. And then if we can go into Q&A for Deanna, and then Crystal can hop on after. Crystal, that works? Okay. All right. So Deanna, you have the floor.
Great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Deanna, Dr. Vitas. I am a disability coordinator at Maritime for our Accessibilities and Disability Services office. So for what that means to you as families incoming are that if you have a student that has had previous supports in the preschool through 12 educational setting and or transition to college with an accommodation plan, a 504 accommodation plan, you would be welcome to connect with my office to reestablish those services or the equivalent of those services at our setting. That disclosure related to having had those services in the past is the first step. That would be your student informing me that they've had those services. It is critical that disclosure, that contact happen right away so that your student is starting their year off on the right footing, and that they are connected with any and all resources that are and would be of benefit to them. Sometimes I've heard from families, well, my child doesn't have that, never had that. Can they still access your support? They can. I do advocate for students. I connect with other departments. My partners on campus include Ms. Loera, as well as housing and dining services, our cadet leadership and development offices. And so I work in conjunction with my campus partners to ensure that students are being served holistically, that their needs are being met equitably, and that your student is thriving. It's important to note that sometimes your student could sustain injury. They could, they may need surgery for whatever reasons. And so those are critical juncture points where they may connect with my office to have resources of support in the interim of their recovery. So I just want to throw that out there so that you are all aware that just because your student may not have a disability currently, that doesn't mean that they may not benefit from services from my office in the future. Things happen, things change. And so I just want you to keep that door open. We are open Monday through Friday. I do have some student assistants that offer support related to proctored exams. I'll pause right there. I know that was a lot of information to throw at you. Are there any questions, concerns? If you are going to raise a more individual specific question for your circumstances, I would just ask that you email me directly at, here's my email address. That would be D as in dog, V as in Victor, I as in ice cream, D as in dog, E as in elephant, S as in Sam, at csum.edu, and just send me those emails directly so that way your circumstances are kept confidential and private. My office does observe confidentiality via FERPA laws, HIPAA protection as well, and so I want to ensure that you understand that your circumstances will be treated with the utmost respect and confidentiality. Your child, someone mentioned, it's time that we support them leaving the nest and growing individually. Love that. That is so true. And the first steps of that process are just recognizing that any contact related to their educational record and experience is going to occur with them now. So if you want to maintain in the conversations and in those spaces where things are being discussed for as far as interventions and resources, please know that your child will have to change their FERPA permissions in their student portal in order for me to maintain contact with you. You are welcome to email me any and all concerns, but I will not be able to reach out to you directly unless I have your student's permission. So I will stop there. Any questions, any concerns, any joys you'd like to celebrate and share?
I'm not seeing any questions in chat. So if there's someone who wants to unmute and ask Deanna something quickly, let's get that done so we can let her take care of things that are on her mind this evening.
Where do you find the FERPA form?
We'll put
Ms.
a link in, Deanna. Don't worry about it.
Sure. That is something I know you navigate in the student portal. There's a way to do it, and I unfortunately do not have my computer in front of me to navigate that with you, but we will get you that answer. Thank you for that question. That is a great question. Anything else? Please know if your student is on the licensure track, they are pursuing licensure with the U.S. Coast Guard. I know that in the past, families have expressed concerns about what having a diagnosed condition may mean related to pursuing licensure. Accessing my services is not not grounds for disqualifications. Please know that you are entitled to these services, your child's entitled to these services. What will be necessary is that if there is a change in your child's conditions or functioning, I should say, there will need to be a disclosure to the U.S. Coast Guard so that they can determine your child's fitness for duty and whether or not they may continue in their current major, whether that be, for example, marine transportation or any other of the licensed programs on campus. So that is necessary for the sake of maintaining transparency and to not have your child encounter a situation where if there's an audit of any kind, then the U.S. Coast Guard is coming back and asking, what about this? You didn't mention this here on your applications, your forms, and then that puts your student at risk. So it's better to just be upfront and honest when changes happen and let things fall where they fall. Any other questions?
Not seeing anything in chat. So with that, and we've shared your email address, Deanna, with the group.
Great.
If
I saw
anything,
someone, I'm sorry, Renita, I saw someone say if health forms were accepted for MT, are they good? Health forms, yes. So your student does need to pass an exam within the first 6 to 9 months of enrolling in the university. My comments are directed to those situations where students may encounter a change in their functioning. They might, some between the ages of eight, please know, aside from this, I am a licensed school psychologist, a licensed educational psychologist. So where you have a student, and I've been doing that work for over 20 years. So where you have that student where perhaps their functioning has been developing appropriately, typically according to their age. Sometimes mental health conditions don't pop up until they're in their early to mid 20s and beyond. And so sometimes changes can happen where you do have to address those changes, and that may be grounds for disclosure if they occur after your child has submitted those health documents to the university for enrollment. So it could be a mental health change, it could be a physical change, it could be a number of things, but any of those changes that occur after they have submitted those health forms have to be, those documents to the U.S. Coast Guard do have to be updated per law, per the federal guidelines, I should say. Do we send you their IEP? Absolutely. I do have an intake form that you can attach those documents to. You may also email those documents to me directly, as I will then attach them once I start the intake process with your student. And the intake process is interactive with my office, meaning that I will schedule a meeting with your student. We will sit down together, review documents, discuss their lived experience. This isn't me just reviewing a document and then giving an answer. I do want to hear from them, their lived experience. And if I'm being honest with you all, as I like to be, and to be transparent, sometimes the answer is no. And that is okay. We are teaching our students to navigate the yeses as well as the nos, because that is life. They are not always going to get the outcome they are looking for. And that is okay. And that is something that happens in this process of reviewing needs for accommodation. Sometimes their need does not reach that threshold for accommodation, but we find other ways of supporting. And I just ask that we work together to do that for your students. This isn't me versus you or your child or anything like that. This is me working with you to determine what is the best outcome. So I am an office of one. Even though we have integrated with Cal Poly, I am one person at Cal Maritime Solano campus that that oversees these needs here at this campus. I do coordinate with my counterparts at Cal Poly, but primarily I am responsible for what happens at our Solano campus. So thank you for your patience and understanding if I am not responding as soon as you send your email. I have to be honest about that. So thank you. My daughter already submitted those docs. I met with someone else in your office over the summer. Will she need to meet with you? Yes, that would be ideal because I would be the one following her case. If you want to email me her name, I can follow up accordingly and learn from her where she landed with everything. Thank you for that question.
I see that Anita has raised her hand. Anita, do you want to
Yeah,
unmute and ask your
sure.
question?
I'm unmuted. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just have a quick question instead of typing. My student is a transfer student and he had the services in his high school some time back, and then he did his associate degree and then joining here. Will he be offered such services? And then if yes, I will email to you.
It, I, I'm not able to determine whether or not he will be eligible for services until we meet. He is welcome
Wonderful.
to. He is welcome. He is welcome to connect with my office, and I am happy to speak with him and have that conversation to determine our next
Sure.
steps. So
So we
absolutely,
will
please.
email you. Yeah, email
Yes,
you.
absolutely. Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
Of course, I appreciate your question, Anita. Thank you. Is there anyone else before I go? I really appreciate you all being here.
I don't know how to raise my hand. Can you answer a question?
Absolutely, Lori. Thank you. What's your question?
So I did submit with my son the documents that you need. I am approved on his FERPA. Your office responded back wanting to know his schedule to schedule a meeting either in person or on Zoom. And I wasn't sure if that was once he arrives at school or is that before school starts.
We can do it either way. I'm
Okay.
happy to meet before school starts. That's usually ideal because even though we are busy getting ready to welcome you all to campus and to get the year started, that is, it's not as I will say there's not as much of a crunch felt from my office as it might be felt from other offices on campus. Once the school year picks up and starts, I then have to contend with instructors who are going to begin assessments, and then my time is spent proctoring those assessments and things while I still have intake meetings scheduled throughout the weeks and months until the end of term. This is a nice time to do those introductory meetings and intakes just to get the year settled in the right space. Absolutely. So anytime throughout the year, you just decide what's best for you and I'll work with that.
And if he's already on campus, can I be joined in on Zoom?
If you already have FERPA, absolutely. Just make sure that we have your email address up to date, and I'm happy to loop you in.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I see a question related to, are there any laptop requirements for marine eng tech majors? Do they need to be able to run CAD? I am not aware of those laptop requirements myself at the moment, but I am happy to research that question. I'm taking a screenshot to do so and can get back to you. This is the last name, I believe, is Smith. So if you want to email me with your full contact, I will be happy to get back to you. And there is another question about where do I send SAT scores? I will leave that for my colleague for math placement. Is there anything else that I can answer before I exit?
All right. Thank you, Deanna, for joining us today. I hope you have a good evening, and we will see you back on campus. And Deanna will most likely be joining us on Saturday, the 16th.
Yes, I will. I will have a table this on the 16th. So please do come by and say hello. I love meeting new families at orientation and just giving you as much support as I can that day and beyond. So I'm excited to have you on campus. Congratulations. I have 2 children myself, though they are still a couple years or so away from graduating high school, middle school. I'm going to be there with you one day, and I feel all the feels, but I'm really happy for you. So congratulations and welcome.
Got it.
Thank you, families. Thank you, team. I really appreciate you,
Bye.
Benita, Crystal.
Thank you.
You are in good hands, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Deanna Fast and Furious. Her email has been shared multiple times in chat. We'll do it one more time.
Did you see your haircut?
And with that, I will invite Crystal to introduce herself and tell us all about what she and her colleague do on campus. With that, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, let me go ahead and start this. Yeah, so I am part of the academic support team. And so we're called university advisors, but academic support really entails academic advising and tutoring. So we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like at Cal Maritime. So, families and friends can help support their student as they come. And if we have any students here, you'll get a more student-facing, engaging presentation when you come for orientation. But we'll overview a couple things. We're good. We can see my screen, right? And our beautiful faces. Okay, great. So Katie and I are the 2 university advisors here at the Cal Poly Maritime Academy, Solano campus. There's 2 of us, and then we'll talk about you also have faculty as advisors as well. But we are generally here for all students, no matter the major, no matter the year, and we help support you with a bunch of different things. I'll talk about some specifics, but what I like to tell students and families and friends is that we're kind of like academic advising meets life coaching. And so anything that pops up for you, whether it's academics or personal, we kind of help find the next step, or we help you develop sort of a plan to approach it and stuff like that. So next. So these are a couple of the most common things that we help with, right? So advising and registration, so building a schedule, and we'll talk about schedules in just a second here. We help you pick like your general education courses, electives for your major. We make sure your schedule aligns with your graduation plan, and so every student has a different plan, right? Transfers come in and maybe they finish in 2 or 3 years. Some of our programs, most of them are offered so you can get it done in 4, but a lot of our majors are high unit majors. So marine transportation, all of the engineering majors, they have over 120 units. They have like 150 plus units, and those are, a lot to handle for when I was in college. So some students elect to do a 5-year plan, and that's okay too. So we'll work with you for whatever you want. We are also experts in sort of college success tools. So like as students kind of start to get the routines down and they're feeling overwhelmed or unorganized, they can come see us and we can start to develop like, here are some tips and tools to maybe feel more organized. Let's talk about how you can effectively study for your exams, because it sounds like you're just reading, and it's not working. So we can kind of go over those types of success tools and tips. I think the biggest sort of thing that we help students with is connecting with resources, right? So we have a lot of students who are referred to us by parents, by professors. And it's just to kind of figure out baseline, like what's going on in your life. And then let's figure out who we can reach out to help support it. So that could be tutoring if you're struggling in a class. It could be counseling services if you're struggling with a partner or a roommate or a family member isn't doing well. It could be referring you to Dr. Vitas if you're thinking about accessing her services, or talking to your dean or chair if you are seeking some sort of exception for a class or something like that. So we basically know everybody. If you have questions, come see us. And then forms and policies. We're the experts on like what's allowed and what's not allowed based on curriculum. So like, can two classes conflict? Maybe, let's talk about it. Can you overload 20 units? Maybe, let's talk about it. So we're available to sort of flesh out anything that kind of pops up. We're also the main advisors for our students who are on academic probation, or we're recently calling it academic notice. So students who maybe get below 2.0 in their first semester here, they do end up on academic notice and we're assigned to them. So they meet with us regularly and we help them get support, kind of meet with them bi-weekly. So that's every other week, and figure out resources and a routine that works for them. I do what I do because I I was kicked out of Sonoma State for failing out. And so at first I was like, well, I guess I'm just working. And then that was terrible. And I went back to community college. And I'm so happy to be here helping students realize that like it's okay to fail a class and let's figure out what works for you and how to get resources for that or how to take a break for a semester and come back. Like I'm here for all those questions. So your student will learn more about this during orientation. There is sort of two types of advisors on campus. Me and Katie were sort of the catch-all for everything, but your student's also going to be assigned a faculty advisor who is a professor in their major, and they'll go to them once a semester to check in. And that's really nice to build sort of mentoring relationships. And then after graduation, you have somebody to write you a letter of recommendation and stuff like that, or explore career fields that like I don't know what engineering career fields look like, but your faculty advisor will. So they're going to be really great. You're going to meet them during orientation. Let's talk schedules. So you guys are all going to get an email tonight or tomorrow. I heard from Office of the Registrar that everyone's schedules are starting to populate. They might change a little bit more today, tomorrow, and Thursday. But Thursday, August 7th, 5 p.m., they should be finalized. So my recommendation to you is when that email comes out, August 7th, check your schedule and then ask yourself, first-time freshman, do you feel comfortable with the amount of units you're enrolled in? Do you like the times of day your classes are in? Knowing that there might not be too much wiggle room, but check in with yourself. And if you want to make changes, we'll be available during orientation, Katie and I, to help make those changes. Transfer students, same thing. Check in. Your guys' schedules are more complicated. They might continue to populate after August 7th. So if you don't see a schedule, email me and I'll show you guys a slide in a minute here of our emails. And how to connect with us. But I would say transfer students feel welcome to make appointments with us if you think your transfer credit's missing or anything like that after August 7th. And then I have a little note here that says check room changes before first day of classes. Who knows if we like move a section? So if you see your schedule tonight, just double check it the day before classes start. Make sure your rooms didn't change or anything like that. And that email that's coming out tomorrow is going to have a video attached to it of how to check your schedule if you haven't figured it out yet. So no worries, you'll get information on that. And I'm in the video. Okay. Let's talk about tutoring services. So we're looking to hire a full-time coordinator, but for now, me and Katie also sort of run the programming for tutoring, and it's super great. It's led by your peers, so upperclassmen. And there's 3 types of tutoring here at Cal Poly Solano campus. So there's one-on-one appointments, which you can make through this system called Passport Navigate, which we'll talk about in a second. There's weekly drop-in hours, which we'll have posted on our website at the end of August. So that's like every Monday, there's math drop-ins. Every Wednesday, there's writing drop-ins. Every Thursday, engineering drop-ins, and they're usually for an hour or 2. So you'll have a set day of the week for a subject that you can just walk in and get support. And that will never change unless it's maybe a holiday or something. So that's really nice to know, like there's always something I can go to on a Wednesday. It's not an appointment required. And then the third type of tutoring is what we call supplemental instruction. It's for a couple of classes every semester that are really, really hard. A lot of times it's calculus, it's chemistry, it's physics, and some other hard courses like ship stability for MTs, chemistry for oceanography, like I said. So we'll have those targeted sessions, which are once a week also. So those will also post on the tutoring website around August 20th. We're going to check in with our tutors soon here and confirm those times. And just to promote tutoring, it's free. You guys don't have to pay for it. It's on the weekends, it's in the evenings, it's during the days. There's so much flexibility around it, especially for appointments. And your body will tell you if you need help. As soon as you're getting tummy aches in class because you don't understand the material, listen to your body and make an appointment, or come see me and I'll help you make an appointment. And you'll learn where we sit once you guys meet us during orientation. And we'll talk more about this too. And you can bring your friend, right? You can make a one-on-one appointment and bring a friend and you guys can try it out together if you want to do it that way too. Okay, maybe you want to screenshot this. We'll also go over this in orientation, but I thought it'd be cool for parents to kind of know some of these really important dates too. So for oceanography, mechanical engineering, marine engineering technology, and facilities engineering technology, you guys all got some emails about the math placement deadline, right? So the last day to register for that is August 12th. If you want to try and take a test that gets you into a higher level math. If you're fine with the math that you're in, totally cool. I will say that for MEs, mechanical engineers, if you're not in Calc 1 right now, then you're a 5-year student. And so if you want to see if you can test higher and get into Calc 1, that's cool. You can also meet with me and Katie. We'll build out your 5-year plan. There's also ways to take classes over summer and try to get back on the 4-year track. So we can talk about that because I don't want you to try and go for Calc if you're not ready either. So, but just Professor Sai wanted me to let you all know, like the deadline is August 12th and you guys have emails about that. Next week, early next week, you're going to get an email about a pre-orientation canvas, which is the system that we use for all of our classes, and it'll have really awesome resources that you'll want to review before you get here for orientation. So some of those things are like the different types of resources on campus. Your majors really want you to look at your curriculum roadmaps before you get here, so there's links to those. So it's really guided for you. You just click through it in the order of the modules, and I recommend you do that before you guys get here move-in day. On August 18th, which is day 3 of your guys' orientation, or day 2-ish, you're gonna meet with your majors. You're gonna do schedule changes if you want. So just letting you know, like there'll be opportunity to make changes to your schedule. Classes start August 20th, and then we've got some holidays, Labor Day. I want to say some big deadlines are the last day to add or drop a class, which is September 3rd. So the first 2 weeks are add drop. That's it. You can't add or drop classes after that. Except if you want to drop it with a W, and you only get so many of those, but they're fine. And September 17th is the last day to drop a class with a W. After that, no more dropping, not even if you're failing a class. So I want to make sure I throw those dates out there so you guys are aware. So if you're not feeling good about a course, we can drop it. Just come see me. 2 more really important dates. So Thanksgiving break is only Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. and that's pretty consistent every year. So students are expected to attend classes Monday and Tuesday. Some professors cancel them, some don't, and I have the occasional student who like most of their classes are canceled, but one isn't, and they have a test that day and they booked a flight home. No. So don't miss your exams. Make sure that you're here that Monday and Tuesday. And then finals week as well. Finals are December 11th through 15th, and you can get scheduled a final anytime during that time. So make sure before you book tickets home for winter break that you don't have a final during those days. And the final schedule posts in October-ish. So that'll be on the website. Cool. Almost done. Too many things. This is how you can contact us. So you can email us at advisor@csum.edu. You can make appointments with us in Passport Navigate. Those have to be done 12 hours in advance. Or we have drop-in hours every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So you can just walk in and we'll be available to help you. Okay, that was a bunch of stuff. Questions?
So Crystal, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back up to all the questions and come on down, read them out to you. There might be a couple that are not related to academics. I'll take a stab at them, but we'll keep it going, okay? So before we start on the questions, I have to tell you that on our campus, the two best people are Katie and Crystal. They are every student's favorite person. They are meticulous about what they do. They are experts at what they do. They are like superb resources. So if you're going to tell your students anything at all, it's to say, stay in touch with these two, K and K. So they are really awesome. With that, are the beds loftable? Yes. Are there dressers in the room? Yes. Are you going to post the last Thursday's call? Yes, they are. Last Thursday's call is with IT. It should pop up any time. I will send them tonight's call. So look for both of them tomorrow. How do we opt out of health insurance? Give me a second and I will pop a link which will take you directly to health forms and you can complete the waiver there. I've added Deanna Vides' email several times. FERPA form, Crystal shared where you can go look for it. It's best to let your student do the work for it and have them sign off on it. Can you post for the link for orientation dinner? I did that. I hope you saw it. If health forms were accepted by, oh, this was a question that Dr. Vides answered already. Laptop requirements, thank you for posting those. Yes, if you have your SAT scores, please do send them to admissions. If you don't know how best to, Crystal already put that in their email in the message. Thank you, Crystal. Will my son be able to take the math placement test when he gets to school? Should he schedule that now?
Great question. No, he can't take it. Nobody, so deadline is August 12th. And so everyone got all of the majors that need to be Calc 1 ready, got an email with the link for the math placement. And so if you're a business student, an international strategy and security, an MT student, you don't need to worry about math placement. It's just the engineers and oceanography, but oceanography can also take math 100 and not be set back. METs can also be in math 100 and not be set back. I think it's really the mechanical engineers that really need to take the math placement if they aren't in Calc 1, but they feel they should be. Good question.
Thank you. I lost track because I entered a link. I sent an email. I have to forgive me. I'm looking for where. Okay, there. My son is an MT and classes have already been assigned for fall semester. Should we assume we need to add classes to stay on the 4-year plan?
Very good question. No, we will make sure you're put in all the classes required for your first semester, whether you're a first-time student or a transfer student. You can also compare it against your curriculum roadmap, which you'll get in the pre-orientation canvas. Like they should look very similar. So nope, we put you in classes to be on the 4-year track. And for transfers, we put you in classes that will graduate you the soonest.
All right. I sent an email to cashier a week ago to enroll on a payment plan. I've not heard back. So Floor, if you will be so kind as to email me at orientation@csum.edu, I'll do some research and get your response. Just want you to know our cashier's been very busy trying to get all the billing out. So forgive us for the delay. Just send me an email and I will take care of that as best as possible. Going backwards, what is a junior chair? Did you mention chairs?
I do not know what a junior chair is. We have program coordinators or department chairs, and those you'll meet them all during orientation, and they're sort of in charge of your major and the faculty who teach in the major.
Is there a way to turn on alerts or reminders for portal items that need to be addressed? Do you know what that might be, Crystal?
I don't. If it's in regards to the PeopleSoft sort of like to-dos, I don't think there's reminders, but there are notifications and stuff for Canvas when you start to do your coursework and stuff like that.
Lupita, if you want to connect with me directly with what it is that you're looking for, I might be able to help. My son's schedule was assigned. Are they supposed to have input?
Yes. So one second, folks. Cool. So they can definitely make changes to their schedule during orientation. We set aside different sections just for incoming students to make sure that they get all the classes they need to graduate in 4 years. So that's why we put you all in those. But if you want to make changes to them, we can definitely do it during orientation because maybe you don't want that art class and we can switch it for a different one, no problem.
Thank you, Crystal. When are we supposed to have room assignments? So I have heard from housing that room assignments were sent out. The last of them were sent out today, this morning. So you should have them. Please check your csum.edu email. That's where they were sent. The sender will show up as housing@csum.edu. So please take a peek at that. If you haven't received it after checking your spam folder and your email, please email me at
I don't know yet. Maybe.
csum.edu so that I could check on that. Thank you. I don't think my daughter has her room assignment yet. So yes, they were sent out today. Please check your email and your spam folder. Are you going to go through this academic support presentation with students during orientation?
Oh, yes. Yes, we'll make it interactive and engaging. We'll go over a lot of the same material and some additional stuff around like what to do in your first 2 weeks and how to, kind of hammer home like, please go to class every day, right? Like that's the key to success. Ask questions. So they'll get a more in-depth but very similar presentation too.
Like I said, nothing gets by these two ladies. They'll be making sure your student is set up for success. Is there a list of school supplies needed for specific majors? This parent is interested or student is interested in knowing MET supplies.
I don't think there's an expectation that you come in or have to come in with specific supplies. I think as you start to get into your major, you will need drafting paper and graphing calculators and stuff like that. So I don't know what those might be. It just depends on the course, and the course will tell you what the materials required are. But I our bookstore has a lot of those materials too, in terms of, that drafting paper, the MT Celestial sheets, calculators and stuff. So
Yeah, but basic supplies like making sure they have a good set of pens that they love to write with, pencils, and a couple of notebooks, nothing out of the ordinary. I've heard engineering students do well with a calculator, but instead of buying one without faculty input might not be recommended. Let them start their classes, talk to their faculty, books and things, everything they need. They should wait a week of classes before they start buying. My son has taken Calc 1 and 2, which are both on his transcript, and he's been registered for algebra. And we heard previously that this class and others would be adjusted during orientation. Please clarify.
yeah, if you want to send me an email, email to advisor@csum.edu, and advisor spelled with a O-R, ADVISOR. I'll look at that for you. I can definitely check that out. And worst case scenario, they're put in math 100 and they're supposed to be in calc 2 or 3. We can definitely make those changes together during orientation, but love to look at that for you.
Are there approved schools where students can take their online classes during winter break or during summer break and transfer them in to lighten their academic load during the regular school year?
Good question. We definitely have databases and tools like assist.org that help tell us what we've taken in the past for different major requirements or general education requirements. I would recommend the student work with an advisor just to identify what they're looking to take, because there are certain things that students might not know, like you cannot take a science lab online, right? So the lecture is fine, but not the lab. So I might have them meet with us so we can just figure out, where do you want to take it? Have we taken this before? If we haven't, let's get it approved before you pay money for it. So they can work with us for that. And we help a lot with that over the summer.
For Labor Day weekend dining services will follow the weekend schedule of brunch and dinner as opposed to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but they will be open. I think the first time dining actually shuts down is for Thanksgiving break. But those 3-day weekends are open. My son took calculus in senior year, but got college algebra. So we responded to that question. Looks like some students already see course assignments. Where can we see these?
Yeah, in the email coming out today or tomorrow morning from Office of the Registrar, it's going to have a video that tells you where to find them. They're located in your PeopleSoft, Student Systems, Student Center. So the video will go over how to access them. And that should come out tomorrow before your schedule's even finished. And again, if you have a schedule, it could still change. So double check, sorry, Vanita. But just double check it one more time on August 7th, because we might see folks in Math 100 and their transfer credit just popped and we change it. So just double check your guys' stuff August 7th before or around 5 o'clock.
We have an MET student and they did not get an email about math placement. Is that a problem?
I feel like they should have, but METs are okay to take Math 100 in this fall and stay on the 4-year track. So that's okay if they don't take it. The students can opt to not take it.
And just to reiterate, your students are going to be with the advisors and their faculty for a full day, and these kinds of questions are best brought up then and resolved quickly with everybody in the room. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. They have very good long quality time with these individuals. Contact person if they didn't get a math class and want the 4-year plan.
Ooh. Yeah. So I guess I would want to learn more about, like, did you meet the standards to get into Calc 1, which is like SAT score or college transfer credit, or a high school level math that goes a certain amount. So I would say email me if you have those questions, and then I will probably refer you to Professor Tayo Inoue if we have questions around like how you were placed. So feel free to email advisor@csum.edu and I'll forward you if we need some more information.
Thank you. If the student passed AP Calc and received Calc 1 credit, he's not registered for a math course. Can he get into Calc 2?
Yes, I was thinking, I was like, Calc 3 is the one that's only offered in the fall. Yeah, I think they can. If they aren't putting into it by August 7th and they want to be in it, they should work with us during orientation to add it. Could be that it's conflicting with another class that does keep them on the 4-year track. And so the priority is this other class, so we could look at that with them.
Okay. Is a smartphone necessary? Can a student get by with a flip phone?
I don't want to answer this question because I feel sad answering it. Actually, you know what? I think that you can. I know that we have this dual security when you log into your PeopleSoft and your Canvas, and it does require you to have the duo. Yeah, Vanita. Yeah.
I just researched this, so you can, if you choose to get an SMS or a text message back, then you need the app. But if you ask for a call back, it just calls your phone. So flip phones will receive that call, and there's an authentication process. There's also a third option where you can plug in your passcode again, and it will authenticate. So there are a couple other options other than saying on my smartphone, I need to click. Okay, so sorry, Crystal, for butting in.
No, thank you. Because I was like, oh, I'm sad that if we require that, but yay, good.
Our dining services open over Thanksgiving? They are not. However, we make every effort. If your student is staying behind, we make every effort to support them. We have a food pantry. We do a holiday meal for them. So your student should be fine if they're not going home. Often they have friends who are local. They go to their friends' homes. In years past, we've had leadership on campus who opened their homes, who live here on campus, and invited the students who are interested in having a meal with them. I suspect, even though we've had some change in leadership, I suspect that option will pop up again. But there's several of us who will make sure that your student who's staying behind is well fed. We can't cover for the wonderful company they'll be missing, but they will not go hungry. Is math placement quiz necessary?
No, only if you want to place into a math course higher than what you've been placed in. And again, the only folks that are really impacted by that are the mechanical engineers.
My daughter graduates on the 12th of December from another university. Will teachers allow students to take finals earlier so that he can attend?
That is definitely going to be up to the individual professors. It will also depend on their major. So if they're a licensed track major, you know, they might take finals all together. Because a small craft is a final with 8 people in your group and stuff like that. So you'll want to talk to your professors during the first couple weeks of classes to confirm if you can have that day off.
Thank you. 12/11 is a Thursday and 12/15 a Monday. Is that the correct period for finals?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the last day of classes is going to land like on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Then they get a day off. Then it's it's finals on like Friday, Saturday, or like something like that, and then we skip Sunday, and then back on Monday. So the 4-day period, they can have a final anywhere in there, not on Sunday though.
Thank you. Roommate changes are possible. From what I remember, when the housing folks were here, they said there is a small window of time when students first get here to make some swaps, and they consolidate rooms, and they go through a process that allows students to make some decisions around where they want to be or with whom. If they have a friend or someone that they want to be with, and there can be some swap of roommates, that's also an option. So best to request your student, or if you are the student, to open up that dialogue with your RA and escalate it to the professional staff in Res Life, and they'll be happy to accommodate what they can. My daughter is transferring from oceanography and took a college course in pre-calc. Does she need to take the math placement exam? We don't have her schedule as yet.
So I would say if she doesn't want to take Math 100 and wants to place in a calculus, she should take it. But she could just take, as an oceanography student, they don't even take calculus 1 until spring. So they're fine being in Math 100. Wait for your schedule and see how that goes. And it's up to you if you want to take the math placement.
I'm a student who passed Calc 1 and 2 already and did not receive math placement. They've sent their transcripts. Any recommendations? They've not been put in a math placement.
Yeah, we don't automatically put you in the math placement. The student would have to, we sent you a link, and then you click on the link and you register for it. And that's because, it's totally up to the student if they want to go ahead and try and place higher. But it sounds like if you took Calc 1 and 2 and you got credit for it already, then you don't need a placement, because you're already done with the calculus. So that's awesome. But if you think you're missing something, go ahead and email me at advisor@csum.edu and I'll take a look.
Thank you, Crystal. The student has an NROTC conflict with their current schedule. Can that be accommodated on the 18th?
We can definitely look at it and try, but historically, students have had to ask the Berkeley NROTC lieutenants to make accommodations, because more often than not, you are going to have classes on Thursdays. And they're very much aware of that, and they've worked with us for years. So they understand that, and so let's look at it, and then
my son was assigned algebra, but he thought he had fulfilled all math requirements at community college for the ISS major. Thoughts?
I would say email me and I can take a look. ISS takes 2 maths, so they might have brought in stats and that's done, but they also need college algebra. So email me and I'll take a look.
Could you please add a link to Passport Services, because it's taking the student to a broken link. So we are having some issues with our integration website and our current website, legacy website. So Crystal can help with that. Yes, Crystal? Okay. Can you clarify the math placement deadline? Do students have to sign up for math placement, or is it automatically assigned to all freshman students? So we've talked about that a little bit. If there's nothing else to add, Crystal, I'll keep moving.
Yeah, just to reiterate, you got to sign yourself up. Deadline's August 12th.
How long does it take to get SAT score processed?
I mean, they should have already been submitted. If they're not, they might go at the end of the queue, because we've already sort of posted them. And now we're working on finishing up transfer credit. So I'd get them in right away. I'd email admission@csum.edu, and then they're gonna do it as fast as they can. And the hopes is that they're in by the time we go do schedule changes on August 18th.
This is an interesting question. On our website, it says that USCG third assistant engineering license combines the full mechanical engineering curriculum with specialized marine engineering training. Does that mean my son can apply for ME positions upon graduation?
Yes, if they complete the license track portion of the major, and so they can if they take the U.S. Coast Guard exams at the end of their time here, and if they pass them all. So students who are in license track majors, they get a 4-year degree and a U.S. Coast Guard license, and it's either a third mate or a third engineer, and that opens them up to like middle entry positions into the Coast Guard and the maritime industries. But they got to take and pass an exam, and it's like a 3-day exam at the end of everything.
Is there a way to see financials with a different parent login? Right now, son and I log in together, it needs the duo approval. The answer is likely yes, but you would have to have your student fill out the FERPA form, and the cashier could probably assist. Correct, Crystal? What is the school's policy on AI? And also, how much paper will I need for notes and classwork?
Oh my God, I've never answered this question. It's coming now. I think that the CSU is super interested in making sure that our graduates are AI savvy and they know how to use it appropriately and to be efficient, and as a thought partner, a creative resource. And so this is going to be discussed in classes. I feel like instructors have guidelines in their syllabi about use ChatGPT to think about stuff differently. But don't copy and paste it because I will know, right? So I'm using it, anytime I want to make a presentation more engaging, like, hey, ChatGPT, give me a 10-minute exercise that like helps us, hammer this home. And it's a great creative thought partner to bounce ideas off of sometimes. But your faculty will go over this with you and their expectations around how to use it. Good question. There was a second part to that.
How much paper do you think they should bring for notes and such?
I mean, it's going to depend on if you are a pen and paper person or a laptop notes person, but bring a ream just in case.
My son did a dual enrollment, and admission said certain classes would get credit. However, when looking at his credit audit, he did not get credit for them. Additionally, can he sign up for other classes, such as they scheduled him for English 100, but he did not get credit for it. However, he has some TBD times for his MT major classes. When will those classes be determined?
Oh my God. I don't know. So I would say email me about the transfer credit, advisor@csum.edu. I'll look into that for you. I would say stand by. We definitely need to have those times ready to go by August 20th. So those will populate soon. And I'll double check on that for you guys and have that answer for you on August 18th. I'll double check with the MT department and any other departments and say, hey, are there anything that we're, not scheduled and coming soon? So good question.
Very interesting. My son's roommate is listed as himself. Does that mean he doesn't have another roommate? I find that very difficult to believe because we have one of the larger classes coming in this year. So if you can send an email to housing@csum.edu, they'll address this. Or if you want to send it to me, I'll be happy to forward and get you a response. That I don't know why that is. Are most textbooks PDF or online, or do they need to purchase hard copies?
It'll depend. I would say hang tight until the first day of classes and see what the instructors want you to have. I do think we're increasingly headed toward PDF and, free or low cost textbooks.
So please don't buy anything until your student's gone to class. My son picked ISS, but maybe interested in MET or IBL. What options do they have, and how difficult or easy is it to switch majors?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the major. So I would recommend we meet, go ahead and either use Passport to make an appointment with me or email advisor@csum.edu and we can connect. I know engineering majors are really full. I'm not sure if there's, plenty of room in ISS versus MET. Ultimately, we want to know what your end goal is, right? And so we should pick a major based on what you want to do after the next 4 years. So let's talk. Email me.
He is also a traditional student. Should it say something else if he's in the core? If it doesn't say that he's in the core, that means somewhere the opt-in piece was missed. All ISS students are by default traditional students. They have to opt into the core. If he didn't do that, please email me immediately. I'll have to check how we can get that sorted out. Because if we are seeing him as a traditional student, then he hasn't completed his uniform sizing, and he is not his fee schedule does not include the uniform. So there might be some changes needed quickly. So please reach out to me at orientation@csum.edu so that we can look into this. My son reached out to ISS a couple months ago to declare a minor. He has still not heard back. Will this affect his ability, to enroll in those classes?
I don't think so. So I would follow up again if you haven't heard back within, 5 business-ish days. But also, I don't know that minors, are declared before school even starts necessarily. And part of the minor declaration process is you have to meet with the minor advisor, which is Dr. Wade. So I would say come to campus. We'll point you toward Dr. Wade and you'll need to meet with him in person to talk about the minor.
I was assigned Math 100, but I took multiple calculus classes in high school. Is there a way to skip the class? He's an MT major.
So MTs don't take calculus. They take college algebra and trig. Also high school calculuses aren't the same as college level calculuses. So unless you took an AP exam and got a score of 3 or higher, in calculus A, B, or BC, calculus in high school isn't enough. So happy to comb over your stuff if you want to email me. If it's high school stuff, I won't be able to see that. And you should email admission@csum.edu. I can only really see college transcripts and AP credit posted. So, but if you email me, I'll get you to the right person.
Our advisor is going to present on August 11th. I don't know, Crystal, and are you or Katie invited to Jalen's EOP program on the 11th? Yes, so
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're on the 12th actually. I know that there's programming throughout the week, but yeah, we are going to have a session with EOP students for sure.
Okay. And they will be speaking to all the students on the 18th. So if you are an EOP student, you're going to get a double dose of these ladies. I applied for SSMP. Will the naval science classes on Thursday and PE classes on Wednesday morning populate on my schedule? Should.
I mean, I think you need to manually add those classes yourself. I don't think signing up for the program gets you, it might get you on, like, I don't know how the lieutenants do that. So I would check your schedule, and in that video, I kind of give you instructions on like early morning classes don't populate right away. You got to change the time, the start time, to see if you have a 7 a.m. So double check if you have those classes listed on August 7th. If not, happy to go over how to add those with you on August 18th.
And just so you know, Tyler Ebbins, who's responsible for SSMP, will be at the resource fair on the 12th, on the 16th, in the small gym where you get in to check in PIAC. You'll be able to meet him there. Can we get a list of kids going to NROTC at Berkeley so they can coordinate with other parents about transportation and the like? I do not have access to that. I don't think the school knows. So your student will have to find out who their friends are and who they, who's going there and be able to coordinate on their own, or ask for your assistance once they know more. We don't know. We don't have those lists. On average, what % of students leave campus on weekends?
I definitely don't have this data, but I can tell you from personal experience that that is a large reason why I didn't do well my first year at Sonoma State. I think students are going to get homesick, and they are going to miss their routines with their friends and family. And they're going to start having to make hard choices about staying on campus over the weekend and doing some work, right? We want you to do both. We want you to be with friends and family and do your academics. And so, having that conversation around balancing school and personal life is going to be really important. And sometimes students will need to stay here and catch up on stuff, especially during midterms and finals week. And that's going to be really hard. But empower them, set future, weekend dates to do something special if they do need to stay on campus a weekend. Also, licensed track students have watch standing, and sometimes those are on weekends, and they're required to do those watch standing hours. So, like if you're struggling with balancing life and stuff, come see me. Happy to help talk to you about how to stay motivated and everything.
So same is true for AFROTC. It's we don't have those lists. Your student will have to make those connections. We didn't skip your question, Alexa. Your student, when they arrive here and get to know their faculty, will have to raise that question. It may be tricky for them to get additional time off in December if they are a licensed student, because they have certain classes that cannot be missed. So please check with your professors. Thank you, Eileen, for your kind words. Is there a deadline for tuition payment? I'm unable to log into cash services. If you hang in there, chat, I have the link that will work. The deadline is August 15th if you've already received a bill. If you didn't receive a bill as of today, your deadline will be September 15th. If you get the request for payment after today, it will be September 15th. Could you please post, which she did, how many hours per week to spend outside of class on homework for MA program?
That's a subjective question. I mean, I think about this, some courses will come easily, some will be harder. There's not necessarily a rhyme or reason. I know I take longer to process things versus my colleague. So she writes emails really quickly and I take a little bit of extra time. So there is, a best practice formula that says 2 to 3 hours a week per unit. So if there's a 3-unit class, it's around 9 hours of work a week, 6 to 9 hours. So I don't think there's an exact formula. I think the first couple of weeks, you're going to start to do the work. You're going to figure out a routine. If you're running out of time, you need to find more hours in the week to set aside to do more work kind of thing. And that's something we can help your student with. for sure. So I think it's a exploration of, where you get really good work done setting wise and the hours in the day, when are you most effective. But I will say, like, the first couple of weeks, start to build your routine and, take advantage of those breaks in your schedule, and go to the library if you want to have your evenings free and stuff like that. So come see us, we'll help you navigate those questions.
Back in the day, they used to say that if you, how much ever time you spend in class, you should spend 3 times that outside class when you're in college. I don't know if that still applies, but back in my day, that was the rule of thumb. So MET and ME with license, Crystal, you want to explain a little bit about how MET versus ME versus MET license work?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of different emphases of an engineering major, right? So MET stands for Marine Engineering Technology. And so you take classes that are very specific to ship vessels and how their engines work, and how diesel engines work, and how boilers work. Mechanical engineers, they're a more traditional engineering degree. And so they take a lot of theoretical classes around engineering. And then, mechanical engineers split in half, and you can pursue the license track or the energy concentration. And so they're different classes, they have different emphases, they lead to different career paths. And so I think that conversation would be really great for August 18th when you meet with your faculty.
Thank you. Are there any lockable furniture pieces in the rooms? They're not. We had discussed this at a previous session where it was many people felt that you could bring a lockable safe to have in the room. Nothing too large. There's limited floor space. So if you think you have some valuables that you want to safeguard, bring a small safe that you could grab from a department store. You're welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying these sessions, or you have enjoyed these sessions. If MT student takes a math placement test and excels, can MT student be excused from college algebra and trig class?
I don't know. It's a great question. I would say email me and let's ask Dr. Inouye. I know that it's a tool. I mean, I don't see, yeah, we should ask. So email me.
All right. And her email is advisor@csum.edu. Thank you for including my email. I added it as well. And you can also always reach me at orientation@csum.edu. How do I know if my son enrolled in Corps Cadets? His housing email says he's Division 1M. Yes, he's in the Corps. He's part of 1 MPM, and there's only one division within his major. So he's in. Our check-in time on the 16th seems very late. Are we able to come to campus early and go to all the booths and academic advising, etc., earlier in the day? Your check-in time, you're welcome to come earlier. There's nothing that says you can't. How it works is you arrive at your check-in time, and while your student is picking up their uniforms, families can go into the resource fair area, which is adjacent to the check-in tables, and meet the people most of the people they've met over this last 1 month. You can come early and hang out and then finish up your room assignment. So feel free. We are here to help you and get excited with you. I'll have tissues for any of you who are feeling a little sad. So we're here. You can come whenever your heart desires. But please do not go to the res halls until your check-in time, because they are on a timeline. You're welcome. Thank you for these sessions. You're welcome. My son did not receive a bill in his email, but I see $1 due in the portal. We can't log in to pay. And he has class schedule, and I see it's due August 15. I just added a direct link for payment, so please try that if you would like. I'm gonna add it again because I added it a little bit earlier, so I'll do it again. If you've received a bill, please go ahead and pay it. Right here. Having technical difficulties. All right. Do they pick up their uniforms on check-in time? During their check-in time. So when you come in, that's when we will hand you your uniforms. Can I transfer directly from 529 account to the school? Jerry, this is a good question. I think there is some conversation around that. I believe that is not possible. You have to get the money and then give it to us. But if you email me, I will get you the right information for that. Again, orientation@csum.edu. Is there a specific recipient we should send veteran tuition waiver approval letter? Yes. Please send your information to me and I'll forward it, because that email address is really, really long, but I'm happy to facilitate. Will e-checks be accepted? Yes. And if you wish to make a payment on the 16th when you're here, the cashier will be open, and you should be able to get that taken care of as well. Let's try. Here is the link for payments. So go ahead and make your payment. So 529 again, no, there you have to do this, the check in the mail. I'm 99% sure, but Jill, if you email me, I will be able to get you an affirmative on that quickly. All right. Once again, we went over our allotted time. And Crystal, thank you so much for hanging in there till the tail end. We appreciate you, and please extend our gratitude to Katie for being your colleague in supporting the students. And once again, thank you, parents, for being here today. Loud and heartfelt applause for all of you for hanging in and asking the questions and supporting your students and packing their bags and bringing every last thing they want to bring here to school. We'll see you in less than 2 weeks on Saturday, the 16th. If between now and then you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Orientation@csum.edu. I don't have the answers to your questions. I'll make something up. No, I'll forward it to the right person who can get you the answer. And yes, I will post today's recording as well as the one from the 31st to the playlist on YouTube. Once again, thank you, and see you soon. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.